Hello, Jen. Hello, Robin. Thank you so much for joining me, you guys. I moved my space, so I might be just a little bit weird today. Hopefully not. But I found a better setup in a different room. So hopefully it all works out okay. But today I want to play. It's totally going to be a play day. If you have a gel press or a gel plate, let me know if you have used it, if you use it often, if it intimidates you a little bit, if you've thought about getting one. It's always interesting to kind of hear where everybody's at with those. Oh, you can't hear.
I can hear.
Oh, you can hear? Okay.
Yeah.
She said that she's watching on and off at work. Okay, gotcha. Maybe she's got it on mute. Is anybody else having any trouble hearing me? I am going to go ahead and switch my camera so that we can get going on our project. Yes, I did say hello to Robin. Okay, so bear with me for a second. We'll switch it out.
I'm listening to you in real time and behind time, so it's weird.
I bet Darren's a little closer to me now in my new setup, so you might be able to hear him better. I'm just, this is my first time filming since I moved things around a little, so bear with me while I get the camera over just a little bit. We'll move things so they work. Okay, I think we're ready. So this is my gel press or gel plate.
She doesn't have a gel plate. She's glad you tuned in.
Oh, Donna, okay. These are really fun to play with. I started playing with one a couple of years ago, and I knew a whole bunch of people who had bought them and who were just kind of freaked out by them, and who they were just sitting in their boxes on their shelves. And so that got me playing with mine a little bit more.
Tina says hi.
Hi, Tina.
Becky says hi.
Hi, Becky. So I've played with this quite a bit, but I am by no means an expert, but I do have a few things that I think would be fun to share. So I hope that if you are curious about the gel plate, that you'll ask me questions, or if you've used it a lot, feel free to add your tips to this. And again, let's just play and explore. I'm going to move this over just a little bit.
Jen says she kind of likes gel plates. She has 7 of them.
Oh, you do kind of like them, Jen.
She's got
7. 7's a good number. Okay, I only have 2. I'm way behind. So the way I like to play with these is I like to start with a coat of acrylic paint, because then my mediums just kind of stick to it and it just makes it easy to play. So I'm just going to use just some ordinary white acrylic paint. I just bought it on my way home from work. Doesn't have a squeeze thing on it. That's kind of weird. That's probably more paint than I need. But, you know, we'll play. And then I'm just going to take my brayer.
Mary said yay, gel plate.
Hi, Mary. So like I said before, if you are really familiar with using a gel plate, please feel free to add your tips, add some fun things you've used on yours. But I just thought it'd be fun to just kind of play and mess around with the gel plate today. So when I was playing last night, I noticed I really liked, so you can use, let me put it this way, you can use several different weights of paper on this. A lot of people like the thinner ones because it peels back really easy. I was kind of liking the Alabaster Brutus Monroe cardstock for this, and the reason why is because I'm going to get mine pretty wet. And this holds up really well to water and such, and I wanted to have a lot of water on mine. So I'm going to just go ahead and stick that down on the paint, and I'm just pressing all along the edges especially, and you can bet that my hands are going to be really dirty by the end of our session today. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and peel that back. And there are a million different things you can do with the gel press. I'm just going to show you a few today. Now, you're going to notice that this is not completely clean because it will pull off anything that is left on the gel press, and I can guarantee there's something on there. Right now, there's not a whole lot, There's just a little bit of remnants of whatever, but I like that actually. Tina said what?
That she loves gel plates.
They are fun, aren't they? I like them too, Tina. I like to use my gel plate just to sometimes just spray the stuff I'm using anyway, just because it's easy to clean up most of the time. Okay, so now I have all this paint still left on my brayer. So there's a few things I can do. I could put something, let's just play. I don't really have a specific plan. In fact, when you do use a gel press, it's kind of hard to replicate what you've already done. So let's just kind of play and see what we end up with. So right now I just sprayed a little bit of this lilac purple chroma mist on the plate, and I wanted to use up some of the paint that was on my brayer. So let's play with that. And I think I'll bring in a new piece of paper if I have any left. I was running kind of low. Let me look and see. I do.
Donna says hi.
Hi, Donna. Thanks for joining us. All right, so I'm just going to take another piece of our alabaster cardstock, and I'm just going to press that down. So now we'll have kind of a purple base for this one. So you can see it picks up all of the different little imperfections, and I like that about it. That's one of the things that's so fun about it. And I'm not going to get another one out. I think what I'll do is just, let's pull out our stencil. So I'm going to use the umbrella stencil today. I love this stencil, and I've got my ugly box out, my ugly spray box. And so let's spray this really quickly with some Pixie Spray. Hopefully no spray went up on the camera. That might make for some interesting times ahead. Okay, so I'm going to just spray that and stick that on here, and I'm just going to stick it, I think I'm going to stick it this way. And I've still got all this stuff on here. We can get that off in a minute, but for right now, let's just use this. Let's take this off, actually, now that I've done all that. I'm going to cut this in half. Just because we're not going to need that whole sheet right now.
Sue says hi, and she asks if you're using a gel plate.
Hi, Sue. Yes, I am. I am using a gel plate today. Okay, so now we've got half the paper to worry about. So now that we've got that, let's go ahead and keep playing. So let's just use this how we have it. And let's add, should we try some media paste on this? Let's do a couple things. First, let me show you just plain old straight spray. This is the Chroma Mist spray. And I'm going to use my brayer to just kind of move that around. The Pixie Spray is your friend because that's going to hold your stencil down tight to your paper. So see, I didn't want the whole thing. I just wanted to add kind of a hint of that pattern, which it did.
Sue said she has a 5x7 plate and she thinks she's used it only once.
Oh, you definitely need to pull that out. I like that size. I have that size too, and that's a good one when you just want to use, like that's great when you don't want quite as many panels. If you just want to play with several, that's a great size. So this purple is the jellyfish purple from the what is this called? Mermaid Mist. Sorry, it's the shimmery kind of has a pretty what would you call it? Opalescent kind of a look to it. Okay, so my spray actually kind of came undone, probably because this has some moisture to it, and that's okay because this is not an exact. That's why this is one of my favorite things to do, because I do tend to get caught up in all the details of things, and sometimes when you're trying too hard to be precise, then that's what makes crafting stressful, and it shouldn't be stressful. It should be fun. So I enjoy pulling out my gel press every now and then just to let loose and just not take everything so seriously.
Marlene says hi.
Hi, Marlene. Thanks for joining us today. Hope you're having a good week. Okay, so this is pretty cool all by itself. I would use this. I love that. I'm gonna let that dry for a minute. Let's take the other half that we were playing with. And let's do something with maybe some paste on this one. I might add just a little more spray to the back of this because it's kind of came undone. Okay. So let's just put this one right down the middle. Let's press that on a little bit. And then I'm going to take some media paste. I've got my spatula here. Media paste is fun too. If you haven't used that very much, you can add a little bit of Chroma Mist to that. You can do all kinds of things with that as well. And one of the things I like to do, I don't typically do the whole panel. I like to do just partial pieces, just to kind of add a little texture and a little interest. And this would be fun too. I just in the interest of time, because of the dry time and stuff, I didn't use any of the chroma glazes, but those are amazing too. Those would add a whole nother dimension of fun to these. Brutus Monroe has a million different, okay, maybe a million is a little bit of an exaggeration, but tons of different mediums that are awesome for the gel press or the gel plate, whichever. I use them kind of interchangeably. I've got both. they're both amazing. So let's do like a third little spot. So now this is a slimline stencil, but I am likely going to cut it down to 2 different card panels. All right, I think we've got enough on there now. And I don't even wait for this to dry. In fact, last night when I was playing with it, I just kind of used my brayer to mix it in a little bit more. Go over it one more time. Just because I wanted a hint of it, but not super heavy. But that's just it. Sometimes there may be an occasion when you do want it heavy. Now, you don't have to waste all of this. You can use all of this. We've got that white piece we started with. I don't know if you can see this. Let me see if I can. Let me move this over. Hang on. I'll move this over a little bit so I can move this over. Excuse me. I just need a table and a lens that go on forever. I'll never have a table big enough to suit my needs. But look at that. I mean, this is just a simple way. I'm mostly just looking forward to having to not clean my brush so bad, or I mean my brayer so bad. So this is kind of my way of cleaning it. But look, we've got the start of something fun there. The one thing about the gel press is you end up utilizing so much of the product. I think you definitely avoid a lot of waste. Okay. So now I need to turn this a little bit. I'm trying not to have it unattached. I'm just going to use my spatula to kind of push it back down again. Okay, so now why don't we add some blue to this? So this is the Wave. This is another one of the Mermaid mists. And then I'm just going to brayer over that just to smooth it out a little bit. So it's still pretty splotchy. So at this point, I think I may want to just add a little bit of water. So it's good to have a little a mist bottle nearby. And like I said before, the alabaster and the Not Your Mama's, they both can take quite a bit of moisture, especially for not being watercolor paper. It's kind of amazing how much they do take. And remember, we're playing, we're using our imagination, we're kind of roughing things up on these a little bit. So you have a lot of leeway for kind of a more distressed look anyway, and I kind of like what it does to the paper. So I think we'll add maybe a little bit of, what do you think, maybe a little bit of red in there? Let's put just a little bit of red. In fact, maybe we'll just kind of go easy on this one and kind of flick it around a little bit. I don't want it to look like blood, so I think we'll spray it a little bit with the water and see if that kind of breaks those up a little bit. We don't want there to look like there's just been an accident, right? Unless maybe you're making a Halloween card, and then it might be kind of cool. Okay, so I don't want to go too crazy because we don't want to, well, that's the thing. You can go as crazy as you want. And like I said, this is kind of a good exercise for me personally because it lets me just let go and not be so conservative about some things and kind of just push the limits a little bit. See how far you can go with some things. And sometimes you're going to love what you come up with, and sometimes you're going to want to let the paper dry so you can use it another day to paint over it. That's one of the nice things too. You can paint over it. Okay, so we've got that one.
Mary says this is cool looking.
Yeah, it's really fun. I mean,
Sue said the first time I saw someone brayer out of spray, I like it.
I like it too. It's kind of a fun one. We'll let that one dry and kind of see what we think. We may want to add more to that a little bit later, but for now, I think we'll let it dry. I'll put it in the spray box for now. And then look at all of this. We still have all of this all over our plate and all over our stencil. So you can use the stencil. You can actually just spray your stencil a little bit with water.
Mary says we don't like it, keep going.
You don't like it?
No, if you don't like it.
Oh, if you don't like it, yeah, keep going.
Until you get something you like.
And sometimes the trick is just being patient enough to let something dry. That is something that I have a hard time learning because I'm not very patient. So sometimes if you let a layer dry, then it can make all the difference in the world when you go back to it when it's ready to go again.
Deborah says hi.
Hi, Deborah. Okay, so I'm going to show you two things here because I kind of wanted to get this off of here before I try this other thing with the stencil. So let's see what we come up with. Again, I'm mostly doing this because I just want to get it off of my gel plate.
Jessie says hello.
Hi, Jessie. Hope you're having a great day. Okay, so now I've got the dirty side down. I wet it a little bit to kind of loosen up all that product and see what happens. And you know, it's not a huge, I didn't have a ton on there, but it's enough that it leaves the impression of a pattern. So let's play with this one a little bit more. We've got stuff we can do with this. So I've still got stuff on my brayer. And I kind of just like what it looks like when you just clean off your brayer. I don't know, maybe I'm weird, but I like that.
Annette says hello, love these fun backgrounds.
Hi, Annette. Thanks, yeah. Annette, do you play with the gel press much? Okay.
Marlene
So
says very cool, and Jessie says she loves the color.
That one did turn out really pretty, huh? I'm liking that too. I like the pretty softness of it. I'm kind of hesitant to do too much more to it because I do like it. Maybe we won't. Maybe we'll just take this one off. I will show you, again, you could go on forever. Let's try a couple of things because I feel like I haven't shown you even. No matter what I do today, it's going to be the tip of the iceberg as far as what you can actually do with your gel plate. This one's still kind of drying. We may just have to help it along a little bit. I can just, there's just this one little part that's bubbled. I can tell hasn't dried all the way.
And it said not much, but you might need to.
You know, and I forget I have it sometimes, and it is messy, and I like to, you know, I don't like to make a mess too often, but if I am going to make a mess, I like to pull it out and make a whole bunch so that I can just make the most of my messy session. And these are great. You know, you may not use them all right this minute, but you can whip out a whole bunch of these in one little session of gel plate mania. I don't know what you want to call it. So here's you can just have a whole box of just backgrounds that you've created that you know, maybe you didn't use it right then, but you can use it later. So this one, let's get crazy. Let's really just see what these can do.
And that says messy is good.
Messy is definitely the means to some good times.
Gina said hello, late as usual.
Hi, Gina. Well, Gina, you can't be late. You're all good. There's no such thing. As long as you're here, you're doing well. Okay, so now we've got all of this mess. Let's see what we can do with this.
Sue asked, do you always use cardstock? I've heard that you can use computer paper to make copies off a gel plate.
You can use computer paper. You can use all kinds of things, but I'm using a lot of paint and a lot of water, so I wanted something a little sturdier that can hold up to all of the wet, because it's a lot of moisture. So I think we're going to play with this one. I liked that one. Enjoy it while you can, because I'm going to add to it now.
Jessie said she loves that one.
What, this one you love?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want to mess with it then. Let's see. I have a few more. I painted some, I have some paint pulls. See, this was the first one I did, and I had obviously used something black. But look at how cool. It looks really cool when you go to pull it and you get whatever was left on your plate. I kind of like that. I like that kind of distressed look. So let's pull that one out. And we'll use that one for our first pull. What is that?
Something outside. Loud neighbors.
I told you that my hands would be very messy by the end of this. So I have my big thing of baby wipes nearby. All right. So let's see what this looks like.
Donna asked, would a circle gel plate be used differently?
I have to be honest, I have not tried the circle gel plates. I am really intrigued by them, but I haven't actually had the opportunity to play with one yet. But look at that. Look how easy that was. Look at how that transformed that paper. And then you could either let it dry with this kind of uneven depth of color, which is fun, it adds interest, or you could just blot it and you'd be fine doing that too. But see, this is the fun thing. You can pull that off and you can get yet another pull from what was left behind. All right, let's see what we come up with. Oh, I thought I was going the other way. I got turned around. But see, that's okay because I'm going to cut this anyway, and I would add more to this and just keep playing. I'm not sure where everything is on my plate right now, but that's kind of part of the fun. Let's see what happens when we just keep pulling. So, yeah, I don't know. I definitely want to add more to that and do something different with it, but again, it gives us a start to something new. And then I'm going to do this one right now. Let's use that and just squirt it a little bit with our water. And actually, I think I will use that one again. Oh, it was that way. No, it wasn't. Let's just see what happens if we use it again on the same one. We might get brown because I kind of crisscrossed them, but we're about to find out, aren't we? Well, I didn't really do too much different. I don't know that I'm really impressed with that. But let's,
Jen said I mostly use my circle gel plate to do circle backgrounds like a moon or a sunset.
oh, that's cool. Yeah, I've seen some really neat things done with them. I don't own a circle one, so I haven't played with it yet. So I actually like this one better, where it's just more subtle and it's just more subdued. I like that because that would be perfect for the background of a lot of different things. That would be a great piece to start with.
Tina says, circle plate, think about a card you would use a circle or doily on. Same concept. It would be like using a large solid round stamp, sort of.
Yeah, that makes sense. So I've got the colored side down. And I'm just going to use my brayer to kind of get more of that color off. And this one barely had anything left on it. This just needs a good cleaning now, along with my hands. Let's pull this other one out for a minute. I just feel like this one has still got so much stuff on it. Let's see if maybe having a little paint might get a little bit more of that going. I may have just pulled everything that's going to come off, but I'm just keep trying because I feel like there's still a lot of product on there. Let's see what that does.
Could be sticking to the
Yeah, there we go. See, that took a... I like that. See, it's just barely kind of...
Dawn says hi.
Hi, Dawn. So we've just got the hint of color now. And I like that. I like that there's just a little bit of yellow there. Just a little bit of fun. So let me show you a couple that I made last night. Let me clean this off really quick. Be patient with me for just 1 second while I just kind of get the biggest part of the mess out of the way so I don't lay anything in it. And then I'll show you some of the ones I made last night. Gosh, it's really dark in here, hon.
The sun's going down.
Huh. We're supposed to get some rain, and all of a sudden it just went really dark.
Yeah, big cloud or something.
Might have to get a little bit more lighting over here.
It's not. It looks fine on screen.
It does look okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, my hands are definitely having fun today. Okay. And I'll just put that in my ugly box. Okay, so let me move that.
Your sister-in-law Gina said she's so happy to catch you live.
Hi, Gina. How are things? Okay, so this I'm just going to put right there because you want to be careful how you store these. You want to make sure you put it back in the box, that it's not got anything laying up hard against it because the impressions will be left on the plate. So just something to keep in mind. So these are some of the ones I made last night. I'll show you my favorite one last.
Gina says it's hot.
I heard it was hot in Canada right now. Go figure. This one was just done with ink, so I didn't even use paint on this one. I just used like yellow and red, and that was about it. It was kind of subtle. That was the first one I made. And then I started playing with the paste and stuff. This one's just cleaning. That was just cleaning, and it just gave a nice subtle, I kind of liked the subtle design. But then we'll get into a little bit more exciting ones. This one's also ink. I don't think that I used paint on this one. I might have used a little paint on this one, but I didn't use any of the paste. And there's nothing, I mean, you can see the hints of the stencil, but it's not really defined in this. But I kind of like that about it.
It's like something from a crime scene.
You think it looks like something from a crime scene?
Blood splatters and such.
No, it's too pink to be blood. Here's another one. This one has just a really, really thin layer of the media paste on it. And then I just added I actually took the paper towel out of my ugly spray bucket. I almost said bottle. Tried to say bottle and bucket at the same time. And I actually just used the paper towel to kind of add a little bit around the edges. And then I just used my Chroma Mist, really watered it down. And then that one's just a painted one. Oh, that one's my favorite one. But this one I really like too. This one's got some of the Mermaid Mist.
Didn't love the colors of that one.
Of this one or this one?
2 cards before it.
2 cards before? Was that this one?
No, before that one.
This one?
That one.
Okay, yeah, I liked this one too. I like those colors too.
No, the purpley.
It was the purpley one?
I'm behind you, behind them.
I gotcha. It's all good.
One of those.
This one's really pretty in person. I don't know if the camera will pick it all up, but you can see the shimmer really well.
One of them looks like the
Hydrangea?
Yeah, that's the word. Flowers.
Yeah, this one kind of does. I'm not sure if this is the one you're referring to, Tina, but I think this one looks like hydrangeas. I don't know if I'm saying that right.
I like the purple and blue one.
The purple and blue, okay. I think this one's my favorite. I think I like the way that the paste picked up the color, and I liked the way that it kind of cracked through the paint, or at least it gives that appearance where the paper kind of got so wet that it started to crack. Does that make sense? So all of them I think are a lot of fun, and these are simple to make a card with. I think we could probably whip one up pretty quick. What time is it?
What, 2:30?
Yeah, we have time to whip up a
Dawn
card.
says she loves the Mermaid Mist.
I love the Mermaid Mist too. Isn't it beautiful?
Heather asks, can you layer between the sprays and alcohol inks?
I personally have not tried the alcohol inks, but I know that you can use them on the gel press. So I honestly couldn't tell you how they would react to each other. Definitely, I would let everything dry before I went on to anything else. But I don't have a educated answer for that.
Mary says a little something for everyone.
Definitely a little something for everyone. You can go as crazy as you want or as conservative as you want. We're going to cut this down to 4 by 5 1/4.
Sue said, I think I can see running a couple of those backgrounds through an embossing folder for texture.
Yeah, you definitely could do that. You can actually take your embossing folder and lay it flat on your, use some paint or whatever and use that. I've seen people use those on their gel plates.
Jen said, look like pattern paper you would pay good money for.
I agree. You can make your own pattern paper. Sometimes you just can't find what you have in your brain anyway. So sometimes it is nice just to be able to get what you're thinking out. All right, let's see. I think I want to go this way on this one. I'm kind of liking that purple stripe. So I think we'll go this way.
You're off camera, we can't see your thought process.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me scoot over just a little bit. And then I'm just going to cut. I like both ends, so I don't want to take too much off of either, but I think I'll take it off of this end. So I'm cutting to 5 1/4. That leaves me enough room to have a little bit of a matte. I kind of have a thing. I just like the way the mattes look because they just make me feel like the card looks finished. Okay, so look, we've got these 2 backgrounds.
Tina said you can use stamps on them, but words and images stamp backwards, so be careful.
Yeah, that's a good point. If you want to use stamps or whatever, you want to make sure that you're aware that words will stamp backwards on the gel press. They'll stamp proper, but they'll peel off backwards.
Gina said, I love how you cropped it. Looks pretty.
Aren't they pretty? I just think that I just like them. They just make me happy. All right, so
that is stamping into acrylic paint.
Yeah, that makes sense, Tina. You can stamp them into acrylic paint, but you know what's really cool too is that you can get, if you have something like your acrylic paint background, you can put, whatever inks in with that, whatever is going to kind of keep your color on your gel plate even, because if you just put ink, if it's water-based, it'll start to bead up. So you need something that will lay it out flat. You can actually use stamps with that to take color off You can stamp onto another piece of paper if you want to have the pattern of the paint that's on your press. So let's say I've got a stamp here, I've got this full of paint and ink. I can use my stamp here, stamp it onto whatever paper here, and then have a pattern going on my gel plate as well, so that when I've got everything going on that I want here, I can just lay my paper over the top of that and have that pattern, and then I'd have the pattern that I'd been stamping on as well, if that makes sense. All right, so I think there's one of the mystery floral boxes left, if it hasn't sold since I talked to Michael. If you want to hurry, you can get in on the, you can see if you can get in on the bundle. There was a mystery box, floral box on the site where you get $10 worth of flowers. Well, you get more than $10 worth. You buy the flowers for $10, but you get tons. I got all of these flowers for $10. So if you love flowers, race over and grab the last one. I actually ordered. I actually ordered 2 of the bundles because I'm a sucker for flowers. So I actually got 2 of them. But let's see what we've got. Let's see. I mean, with this, I think the background is definitely the star of the show. I haven't decided if I want to use the purple or the pink.
Maybe she loves this.
Isn't this fun? You know, I am kind of a control freak about some things, and the last couple of lives I've done, I've tried to kind of, first of all, I just was a little crazy anyway. I just had a lot going on, so I didn't have as much time to prepare. Usually I prepare to the point where I've got everything cut out. Sometimes I even have the card made ahead of time and I just do all the steps. But it's a good exercise now and then. And today I just thought, I just want to show that playing is half of why really, that's what we're doing. We're playing, right? We're expressing ourselves, we're experimenting, and that's really how we should approach our craft room. It shouldn't be stressful. It shouldn't, there shouldn't be so much pressure. I think that we sometimes are so hard on ourselves that we take all the fun out of it. So I think it's good just to have a play session where you're just trying new things, because if your paper doesn't turn out great, then that's all it is, really. It's paper, and then you just throw it away, or you set it aside to dry so you can paint over the top of it. So I think we'll use some pink and some purple on this. I haven't decided if I want to incorporate any blue yet.
Donna said you got 2 mystery boxes as well.
I know. When you got the first one, did you turn around and buy another one, or did you know right off the bat you were going to need 2 of them, Donna? I got my first one. I thought, oh my gosh, I have to have another one now. This might be kind of fun to add in there, but I don't want to have so many flowers that you don't see the background. I think you could overwhelm it. Let's do one with purple and one with pink. I've got a few things here we can play with. I'm just going to dump them out. Kind of like the
Donna
sparkles.
said she brought them separately.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, because they're a crazy good deal. So maybe we'll do something like that with that. And then I think I really want to use one of these, just this luscious pink. That's just such a pretty color. We'll use one of those. I don't know. Might be a little too dark.
This is, oh my gosh, so cute. I want one, LOL.
He said that?
Jesse.
Jesse, you're so cute. Should we try a purple with this one? I think that works. What do you guys think? Can you even see them? Sorry, I'm going to switch places over here.
Once in a while.
All right, I think I'm just going to add those to those. Got maybe we'll add a couple of those if we need to. I'm moving my...
Jessica said you're so talented.
Oh, you are so sweet. I just like to have fun. These are really pretty too. These would give a whole different look. I'm not going to use them on this one, but I will show you with maybe one of the other ones that we created, just to show you. I mean, these are really pretty. They have this just really pretty metallic shimmer to them. They would look really pretty with like this one, or even this one. And actually, that soft one we did today look good with any of those. These are just really, really, really pretty. So who knows? You might see something pop up on Facebook where I made something with that too. But I'm seriously thinking, I have a bunch of backgrounds I just want to pull out one day and just make a whole bunch of cards to have on hand, because I never have. There's some cards especially, like, I never have enough. I think 3 is good. I never have enough sympathy cards on hand, because I never am like, oh, I'm going to sit down and make a bunch of sympathy cards, because, you know, they're just not something that you think about when you don't need them. And I never have enough birthday cards, because you can't really have too many birthday cards, I don't think. So I think I just want to have a session where I just sit down and make a ton.
Pam says she needs to learn to play with colors, but she tends to plan too much.
You know, I can do that too. I think it's good just to, anytime you do anything that pushes you a little bit, I think it's a good thing to just kind of push yourself past what you normally would do, see if you can come up with something new. Okay, so I might want to cut that down a little bit more.
I never have enough thank you cards.
You know what, Gina? That's true. That's another one. I make thank you cards quite a bit, but again, can you really ever have too many thank you cards? So I'm kind of liking that. You can't really see the black. I'm going to pull out one of my stamping grid sheets so you can see this better. Let me see if I can. That way you can see what I'm doing as I do it. Oh, I forgot to grab my card bases. Okay, so we will layer that. I think I'm going to trim that down and maybe just do it just like that. So these little sentiments are from Christopher's Sentiment Dies, and they are amazing. It is a really just a great thing to have in your stash, because there's something there that fits most cards. I mean, let's see. Do I want to cut off that? I really do like that little purple. I don't know why. I'm kind of just attached to it. So I guess I'll just cut on this side. I know you can't see me right now, but I'm just cutting my card down a little bit more so that we have that mat fitting it. Okay. Don't want to cut too much further because you don't want to cut off all the fun stuff. So I haven't decided if I want to, do we want to center it, or do we want to, I kind of like it like this. Let's do it like that. Okay. One of the things, I don't like to cover up all of that fun stuff that I just made. So I like to, I use Vellum a lot when I do a background that I don't want to cover up. Maybe it needs like a circle, or maybe it needs something to anchor down everything, but I typically will use something like a Vellum because I don't want to cover all that up.
Mary said you really like the sentiments too.
Yeah, they are great. They are just so versatile. I think I got everything off. Maybe one more. Thank you for being patient with me. As I said before, I switched my craft space up a little bit, so I have to reacquaint myself with where everything is. It's not that just kind of automatic reflex. Not that everything was always where it was supposed to be. That would be a big exaggeration. Like a frighteningly...
You make it sound like it's usually where it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Not the case.
In theory, that's what the intention is. Okay. So what is everybody else working on? How many of you guys are going to the Create Your Own Ending event? If you haven't heard about that, that is an event that Brutus Monroe puts on every year. This year it is virtual. It is in August this year, the end of August 19th through 22nd, I believe. And I know that there are still a few tickets, so you might want to look that up on the site.
Donna says she's going.
Oh, Donna, that's awesome.
Yeah, this says she's going.
Very cool. That is what I got for Mother's Day. I can hardly wait.
Tina says she signed up.
Awesome. I do wish I could see all of you in person, though. Maybe next year, right? Okay, I'm kind of liking that. I'm liking that. We just need maybe a little something to anchor it down. I want to
Mary
tuck
says
that in
not
a
this
little
time,
bit.
but I'll definitely consider a cruise if they swing that next year.
Darren has already told me that if there is a cruise, we will find a way for me to go.
That'll be next year's Mother's Day present.
That will be my Mother's Day and my birthday.
And Christmas.
Yes. And that would be fine with me. I think a cruise sounds pretty awesome. Let's see what we think of this.
Cool card.
You like that?
I do. I like that. It looks like the stucco on concrete brick that's coming off the brick. Your background.
I like that
You know, you
too.
got that look.
I like that kind of distressed look. I'm trying to decide if I think it's bugging me that I think I have to have it go all the way to the top though. That black piece, because it's just too weird for me. Maybe we'll use ribbon there. What do you guys think? Sorry, that's what you get when I'm decorating on the fly. Give me 2 seconds to grab my ribbon. It's in the same
Card
room.
bases, too.
What, honey?
Grab your card bases too.
Yeah, I was planning on things, so.
Jen says she loves that. And Donna says I like that.
Darren's going to entertain you for 2 seconds.
I don't entertain, but I'll be your parrot.
No pressure, Darren. Okay. Thanks for holding. I grabbed everything so that I don't have to go back. Okay, so I've got some black ribbon. I think that's 2 purples, so we're not going to use that ribbon. What is this ribbon? Oh, this one? Oh, okay.
Black ribbon. I think black ribbon.
They're both black. One's grosgrain and one's satin. I think we'll use the satin. It ties into prettier bows. So we'll just grab some of that. Whoops. Let's see. I don't want to cover up the purple, but I don't want to get too... I dig this. This is one of my favorite parts of the card, is that weird little distressed spot.
That's what made me think of that broken stucco off a brick. Looks like a crack.
Yeah, I like that.
That's pretty cool.
Okay, this needs a little bit more space. I'm thinking maybe about right there. One thing is, once I get it tied, I can move it up and down if I need to. Okay, I'm going to teach you guys what I learned from Jennifer McGuire. And that was, I didn't learn it from her personally. That would be amazing. But I saw her do this on one of her videos, and I thought it was really clever. Because when you're trying to tie a bow, there's nothing worse than when you just can't keep your tension.
Gotta run.
All right, thanks for joining us today. Enjoy your dinner. Come and make ours. Okay, so you want to have your shiny part of your satin ribbon on the outside. But see, now I don't have to worry about holding on to the center because I've got my tweezers holding it.
Donna says it's a beautiful card.
Oh, thank you, Donna. We'll have to see how some of the ones from today dried too. Okay.
Jen says that is very clever.
Yes, yes. Jennifer McGuire is some sort of genius.
Trina says brilliant tweezer hack.
I agree. Happy to share it. Okay, so I just want to make it a little bit smaller. I don't want the bow to overpower all of our flowers. And where it's already black, you don't want it to be a major focal point. So sometimes you just kind of have to mess with your bow. I'm having a hard time with my tail kind of wanting to be in the front, but we don't want the tail in the front. We want it in the back. So sometimes you just have to show your bow who's boss. Okay, I feel like we've got our bow under control now, and we can put our flowers on. I think we'll put maybe that one. Let's layer these ones and see what we think of these ones. We've got them layered. I'm going to use some just glue dots for that. One nice thing though, if you want to get a little bit more dimension out of it, you can use like a foam square if you want a little bit more distance between the layers. But for me, I think for right now, I just want them to be just laying one right on top of the other. Okay. And then remember, you can move them around. Again, these are kind of like the bows, and you got to be the boss. You got to move them around. You know, you don't want them to look lifelike. So we sometimes have to squish them around a little bit. And then we'll add that one maybe right in there. So let's attach these. I think I am going to use the foam to attach them to the card. I think I'll use the black so it will go with the kind of tie, it'll kind of blend in with the ribbon. Might not stand out so much. And you know, these little flowers, they get crunched in their little packages, and so sometimes they need a little extra fluffing. So I think that we've managed to be able to have kind of a fun little spray there and still keep this the focal point, that is our ultimate goal here. So I'm keeping the flowers pretty close to each other. I don't want to have them spread out too far across the card because, like I said, I'm trying to keep the focal point I mean, they are the focal point, but you don't want the print that you just made and spent all that time with getting lost in the shuffle. All right, so now we just need to attach our sentiment and put it on our card base, and we've got a card. I'll probably finish this other one out after, and then I'll just, when I take pictures for this, I'll just put them on together. Let's put this on first, and then I'll put the sentiment on. Everybody's very quiet.
Donna says, gotta rush, or gotta go, thanks for the gel plate demo.
You bet. Thanks so much,
It's
Donna.
in her shopping cart.
Awesome. You definitely will enjoy it. There are so many things you can do with this. We barely scratched the surface today. I think I've got it pretty straight. Oh, maybe not. Well, that's where it's going. That tape is pretty sticky. Okay, and then I'm just going to use, I think I'll just use a little of this. So if you want to use glue with vellum, you can get away with it. First of all, I'm putting it where the black is so that it doesn't show. But if you need to put just a little bit along vellum, if you put it on and then wipe it off, there's enough sticky stuff left on your vellum that it'll stick, but it won't show. Just trying to get my pin back in my Fairly Art glue. Okay. So let's kind of take that in close. Let's put that in. Put that in right there. All right. Probably could use a couple of little enamel dots, but I don't have them handy, so I'll probably add them after the fact. But for now, I'll just show you the card one more time. And again, we've got all of those fun prints we made today. And like I said, some of them are just starts to something else, but we've got a whole lot of fun to play with later on. So don't be afraid to just pull it out. Have a little session where you just play and experiment and find out what mediums you like on your plate, what ones you think work better than others, what ones work well together, and have fun. Thank you so much for joining me today. I look forward to doing this again next week. Have a great rest of your week and have a safe holiday this weekend. Bye-bye.